was rather shy in my younger days, but I still decided to do public presentations, even though it was very nerve-wracking for me. Eventually, I loved meeting the public because I was learning so much about myself and seeing so many succeed with what I was presenting them. The real guides would always give at least one experience in the beginning with those I was teaching. I would also experience people wanting more experiences and not fully realizing they had to step forward and do something and also be patient. The real guides are doers, and they do not wait for others to perform because they know how unreliable the human awareness is. Human history, which most people do not properly understand or evaluate in any real sense, has demonstrated what the human awareness is mainly interested in: nothing of lasting value. Instead of producing something beneficial, the average social creature would rather watch worthless TV shows like soap operas and competitive sports and drink alcohol to get their buzz. Human adults are usually demonstrating to their offspring what has no real value, and then they wonder why their children act as they do. Real survival is first, then maybe a little silliness, but it is all chaos and stress in an overly creative society, and people love it, I said as I watched Char with her loveliness move about. You are funny, Dwayne. When this is over, why don't you stay here with me and we will plan our future in the real universes. We will find a place to be all our own. I know so many places. The Callum never looks, she said as she kissed me. To be honest, there is nothing more I would rather do, especially with you, Miss Shar. But I want to finish what I was asked to do by the real guides as a humble gift for them and all those that are waiting to learn about them. I so love the is that there is nothing I would not do for it, and so in my heart I cannot put myself first. You and I will be together as long as I have a mental body in this realm, I said, looking at her beautiful face as she smiled at me. Ha ha, you are cute, surfer boy. What about Heather? You know she comes around here sometimes with you, she said as she giggled. Oh, her, well, we can hide from her and she will not find us. She likes the deception of the 3 lower levels, and so for the most part, she has very little time to be overly concerned because she is too busy with her Martha Stewart routine along with all the other icons of TV and all the funny things they like to create, I said laughingly as I was thinking about her. Let's take a short walk and I will show you something you will like, she said as she took my hand and we walked through the trees. Char led me to another part of the mountain. As we came to a bit of a clearing, she pointed along the face of the mountainside. What I saw was really neat. There was a huge opening about 20 feet straight up and up the side where the bees and butterflies were coming and going. On this level, all the natural creatures live in harmony with one another. You will never see bees and butterflies on the earth together like this. They actually work together here to produce their own type of honey that is not found anywhere else. If a human were to eat what they make, it would cure them of anything that ails them, including all forms of cancer. It would even make them young again. These little creatures produce one of the many fountain of youths that are available, but you and I have the best one of all, the real connection, she said as she took my hand and kissed it. This is so fun and great. While Earth people are lost to their polluting machines and their microwave goodies, they will not listen to something that makes real sense, I said as I watched the beautiful bees and butterflies move about. We should return to our hiding place in case the deceptors are patrolling around here, she said as I followed her back to the cave. When we returned, Char and I decided to do a new you session together and move beyond this world. We both sat down beside each other, and after about 10 minutes, we had moved our real awareness far above the terrain of the place our mental bodies were situated. Everything was a very soft stillness as I floated in clear sky. It took me a moment to consider what was taking place, and then I looked over and saw a ball of light beside me. I found it humorous at first and then realized it had to be Shar. I sent her an impression. "Lovely Miss Shar, is that you all lighted up?" I said. "Ha, ha, ha, of course it is me. This is great. I feel so free and wonderful. You look like a ball of light, Dwayne," she said as I could still hear her laughing. This is our real awareness, the part with no bodies attached. Consider yourself as you always have, and your awareness will form itself, I said as she immediately became the form of her body that was now all light. I did the same, and we held each other in our illuminated realness. As I held her, I could sense the great love this wonderful being is. We were both so responsive to each other. I had never even experienced this with Heather. Oh, Dwayne, I can feel the awesome beauty of your sincerity for everything. I have never experienced such humility and sincerity before, not even imagined that it could exist. You are so connected to the all is. I can actually see it in your being. There are worlds upon worlds within you that are exposing themselves to me as I am with you. I have tried to imagine the real universes, but this is so much more than I could ever consider, she said. I see the same in you, Shar, and all the reality that you are. We are no longer confused and restricted by the emotional and mental baggage of the other bodies and their ties to the psych realms, I said. Can we go off and never come back to those awful places of personal identity? I am no longer concerned about the fate of others because I know they will make it out of the darkness someday. I feel so free and aware, she said. You are just too beautiful, Miss Shar. We are warriors of the is, and because we have the knowledge and awareness we do, we must continue on with what we have come here to do. We both have a great love for others, and in the true sense, our hearts will want to live the courage of providing what very few will. We can come here whenever we want to, I said. Yes, you are right. I do want to continue the adventure with your personal self and a lot more, she said. While we are here, let's do a little exploring. I know that this is your first time here, so let me show you around, I said. We continued upward into the sky until we came to the awesome level above the mental worlds. I took Shar to the places I had been in this area with RT. After a while, we went upwards again to the top of the psych realms and the fairy-type wonderment of seemingly worlds with floating continents of huge cities made of precious gems. As we were floating through the wide openness, we saw a light in the distance that kept coming closer. Then there were two lights, and they took on the forms in front of us. It was RT and Gopal Das. Hello, my friends, said RT with an impression. Please follow us. RT and Gopal went upward as we followed until we came to the deep, dark border. Then they created a road of light into the real universes. We followed them as we flew above the lighted pathway until we came to the entrance of the 7th level. I could tell that Shar became exceedingly ecstatic with the experience. Oh my, who would believe such a place exists? I thought what we were experiencing was wonderful, but this place is beyond anything that can be considered. I can feel the great sincerity of everything and all the beings here. Light is so incredible compared to anything in the other worlds, she said as we moved further along into this real universe. I watched her as she moved about and absorbed all the light and sound that entered her being and more so illuminated her. Then I got a surprise. Shish appeared before me. Dwayne, my beloved, you have come to visit, she said as she embraced me. I was overjoyed to see her and said, it seems like centuries with all that I have been through, Shish, since I have seen you. I can tell this place suits you. And then we both laughed. You have brought a new friend with you. She is a lovely being that will be a great companion for you while you are trying to save the humans from themselves. I have a surprise for you, she said, and as she did, several other beings began to appear. It took me a moment, but here they were, my parents when I was an Indian in my previous life, and Sonia and her sister Rosa. I had almost forgotten them. They all came over to me as we embraced each other with a great joy. Dwayne, thank you so much for putting up with me during that lifetime. I am so grateful to you for having the courage to do what you did on Earth at that time. There are actually others that are here because of what you presented and shared with so many. I can see that you are finally ready to help others get out of the dark levels into this great lighted world, she said as she hugged me close. Hello, Dwayne, said Sonia. I have so missed you. What a wonderful journey you are providing for all those that are ready to come home. When you eventually return here for good, you are going to have a lot of heavenly wives to deal with, she said as everyone laughed and she hugged me. Then my parents came over and we just hugged. I could tell that they were very happy here and I knew I would be back someday. We must return to the mental worlds and continue with our adventure, said RT as we said our goodbyes, and Shar and I followed RT and Gopal back down to the lower worlds. I soon woke up with a kind of jolt back into the mental body. I felt a little numb, but it soon went away. As I sat up, Shar opened her eyes and immediately put her arms around me and kissed me. Then she became very romantic. After what seemed to be a while, we started to talk again. Did all that just really happen, Dwayne? It was so amazing. I can really see now why you risked your life for what you are doing with the real guides and have no real concern for yourself. Just being out of this body is so great that nothing can compare to the world of the 7th level. Nothing, she said with such sincerity. I know it has always been hard for me to leave that level, and Shish also. No matter how good a life you can manage in these lesser realms, it can never compare to the real universes. The 7th level is beyond belief, but actually as you go higher into the invisible and unseen universes, it even gets better. The ultimate true reality of the is definitely tops everything, I said as I was resting from my wonderful experience with Shar. My life was now instantly changed, Dwayne. The incredible sincerity I experienced with you is something I want to hold on to forever. You are so adamantly sincere with your life and what you are doing. I am only now realizing all there is to you. It is hard for me to believe that others cannot see this in you, especially Heather. She is giving herself to her family and her job to once again become unconscious of what she can have right in front of her. She keeps putting off the greatest gift she could even imagine for more lifetimes of struggle with the Callum worlds. Thank you so much for trusting me, she said as she kissed me several times and became romantic again. Eventually, we took a break and walked outside into the nighttime air. What a life, I thought. It is really not that bad, even after all I have been through. I am still alive, you might say, It is all too amazing. I had to laugh as an impression suddenly came to me. Rebazar set all of this up so that we would meet. Shar, of course he did. Isn't he sweet? It has been the destiny of the is that we are here, dude, she said as she laughed and grabbed an apple from a tree. We walked around for a while and picked some fruit and then went back inside and slept for a while. I began to have strange experiences once more as I left my body. Shar was with me as we moved through strange and eerie areas of what would be part of this world from a subconscious arena. There were ghastly figures moving about and moaning about their life as though they were trapped and could not find their way around. We could see the entities here being tortured by brutal creatures. We ventured for the longest time over vast areas of decided bewilderment, then left and went back to our bodies. That's a little bit of the references that Dwayne the Great Writer is sharing in his new books that you can get. There's also opportunities to become involved in different projects that are in development. The total universal rainforests, and we'll see if all solar research vessels with the Nations United Universal University on board them to go around and clean up the oceans and provide clean water for those in need of it, and teach people how to grow good food. So anyway, it's for everybody that's tempered enough by all the lives we've been through to get to this point now, for this opportunity to become involved in the new presentation. So I guess for today I'll end this show singing the new you. See ya.